Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Chris D. Redefined. And in my last short, I promised you I would talk more about politics in the next episode, so I am going to talk about it. It's been a really, really rough week if you pay attention to American politics. I became deeply, deeply entrenched in the two American expat groups, politics groups here in Lisbon. One is called Democrats Abroad, and their international focus is about registering Americans who live abroad, registering them to vote in their local elections and their upcoming elections. Speaking of elections, I vote in New Jersey, and just yesterday I put my vote for gubernatorial candidate Mikey Sherrill into the mail, the Portuguese mail, and the lady at the desk assured me that it usually takes between 7 and 10 business days for mail to reach from Portugal into the east coast of the U.S. So hopefully election day isn't until November 4th. So I urge you, if you live, I think Virginia also has a gubernatorial election, I believe, but New Jersey certainly does on November 4th. There are a lot of special elections. One just happened in Arizona where an incumbent, I think, died. I can't remember, but a Democrat was voted into that position, position yesterday. And so hopefully Mikey Sherrill will win governor of New Jersey. Let's keep our fingers crossed there. Well qualified, and I believe in the same things that she believes in. So if you are a liberal Democrat, a progressive Democrat, and who isn't these days, my gosh, we can't reach across the aisle and try to work with MAGA. They're just a cult. In my opinion, they're a personality cult. They followed Donald Trump, Dump, as I call him. They followed Dump unendingly and blindly, no matter how stupid, no matter how embarrassing, no matter how humiliating. He's clearly lost it up here. There's almost nothing left. If you watch him and listen to him, he can't even complete a complex sentence, a compound sentence. He wanders all over the place. He can't collect his thoughts, much less express his thoughts. And so, and MAGA will just follow him. We've seen a lot of really horrific things this week happen. He has finally completely turned the Department of Justice into his own strong arm of the law, and into his own personal law firm. And so what used to be a nonpartisan arm of justice for the United States is now just Donald Trump's personal law firm. And so he's going after former FBI Director Comey, who did nothing wrong. The previous DOJ, or the person they were going to assign that case, told Trump there's nothing. So he committed no crimes, and then Dump fired him and hired an insurance lawyer who was a beauty pageant contestant in like Utah or something, or I can't remember. Anyway, she was friends with Charlie Kirk's wife, and I guess that's how and she's beautiful, that's how she got the job. And so she is now going to be the trial lawyer, even though she's never done any sort of criminal law at all. She's an insurance lawyer. Right? So she'll be trying to prosecute former director of the FBI, Comey. And so good luck with that. I think that's, and then what else has Dump done? He has killed more Venezuelans, private citizen Venezuelans, claiming they were running drugs in international waters on a boat. So where's the proof? Can you show us an investigation where there were drugs that were loaded onto a boat? Can you give us pictures, video? What do you have? This is the third boat now, the third round of people he's killed without any cause. No license, nothing. He just killed them. And so now I guess we're just in the business of killing people. And that's the third Venezuelan boat. And I don't care who you are. If you're going to kill people, then you need to warn them. You need to have just cause. You need to tell them, identify yourself, and then you need to give them, a chance to surrender and whatever. That's after you already have proven that there's a reason to board their vessel. But none of that was done. He just blew them out of the water. So I guess we're assassins now, and your taxpayers and my taxpayers just paid for that. What else has he done? Everything. I mean, I can't even tell you what else he's done. Oh, Hegseth is called. This blows my mind. Hegseth. So we had Signalgate, where he told all of our defense plans months ago and put it out on a signal chat and what's going to be fired at what time and on where, what location. He put that all out on an open signal chat. One of the people on the chat was in Russia at the time. I think it was Tulsi Gabbard. And then he included accidentally a journalist who, thank goodness, came forward. And not that it did any good, but the journalist came forward and told the public, like, hey, I was included on this chat. And it has very, very high-level secretive information, Defense Department information. And so now he's calling all of the 4-star generals and their assistants, 1 to 4-star generals and their assistants, into Quantico for a meeting. Now, he announced that publicly. So now all of our enemies know that every level, Navy, Marines, Army, they're all of the 1 to 4-star generals, all of the top military are going to be in Quantico. And so, I mean, just announce where they're going to be so that a military strike can happen there, and our military, which is already, up the shitter, right, now they're going to just kill everybody at one shot. But my thought, I do agree with popular podcaster Texas Paul, that Hegseth is probably just going to make them sign some sort of loyalty agreement to Donald Trump, and whoever doesn't sign gets nixed. I don't know if they're going to, I have no idea but apparently back in 1934, Hitler did the same thing, called all the military in, and instead of asking them to sign some sort of loyalty document, he simply had them all executed. And so that occurred in 1934. And he killed all of his military enemies so that he could control the military. So my thought is that Hegseth is going to make them sign this loyalty agreement, and whoever doesn't sign just gets fired. I sure as hell hope they don't get killed. We're at that point now where if he's going to conduct proceedings against the former FBI director, who's next? Anybody that dissents. We saw, of course, Jimmy Kimmel. Not that I care about Jimmy Kimmel. He's got millions. He'll be fine. But it's the fact that now people cannot say what they want to say anywhere. And so people are, according to my friends, they're in hushed corners and talking about the state of the world in hushed corners now, instead of saying it out in the open and on social media, like me. But I'm far away. So, I can't, I don't think they're coming after me. They're coming after other people. They're not coming after me. So I'm going to speak my mind. We are in a very, very, the most dangerous times, I think, since before even the McCarthy era. This is unprecedented, where a president just takes over the military, the judiciary, the Congress, and it's all because now Dump, if you ask me, is gone up here. There's nothing left. He's just a mouthpiece. So the real genius behind everybody are the authors of Project 2025. If you can get I know it's out there as a document somewhere, you can get it on the internet. If you can find it, it basically says that they have a systematic way of getting rid of brown people all immigrants in the U.S. They want the U.S. to go back to a predominantly white male, white Christian nationalist country. And women, they're going to strip all the rights of women down to you're just basically baby-making vessels with no voting rights, with no rights to travel outside of the state without your husband's approval. You will have no rights. There's no choices in healthcare matters. You're just going to do what the state wants you to do and what your husband wants you to do. Supposedly, they're going to give you some sort of $1,000 or $2,000 tax break if you have a child, or tax benefit, and not care about child care costs afterwards, child health care costs, SNAP benefits, so, food for your child and education for your child. They're supposed to go to public school, which is now just taken over in many states by these religious right-wing nuts who are going to be teaching white Christian nationalist propaganda in school. We're in the middle of 1984, A Handmaid's Tale, and you name any other dystopian novel that was ever written, and we're in the middle of it. You might think I'm being hyperbolic. Take a look at the news. Take a look at the news. And I'm not talking Fox News. I'm talking like the BBC, Zeteo, Al Jazeera. You need to pay attention. The Economist. You need to pay attention. You need to go on independent media and find out the truth, please. If you watch, Fox News and even CNN, which has become Fox News Light, Jesus. There's just nothing out there that's sacred anymore. But we have turned into a 1984 Handmaid's Tale, racist regime, Third Reichian, right? Gestapo running country. There's nothing left. We are living in an authoritarian plutocracy. And so there are ways to fight it. I'll go into that next. But boycotting has started really taking hold in the U.S., boycotting everything from Target to Amazon to Starbucks. There's a whole list. If you look up, I think it's Woke Ginger on Instagram. He has a great list of companies and corporations you should boycott. That's going to be pretty much that. And voting, if you can still vote despite all the stupid redistricting that the GOP is doing. If you can still vote, you need to get out there and vote. If you have time on your hands, you need to run for your school council, your county council, city council. You need to run, you yourself, if you're worried about this and you can even put a sentence together, you need to run for office. If you can't do that, then volunteer at a local politicians that you believe in, a local office. Volunteer so that you can be connected to, people that are trying to get this country back to where it belongs. And actually, if we ever get power back, we need to make sure this never, ever happens again. We see now that our democracy is weak. It has a lot of holes in it, and it can be taken down. What is it, 8 months? We no longer live in a democracy. We live in an autocracy, an authoritarian plutocracy. So in 8 months, the U.S. has fallen, and it was very well planned. Please look up Project 2025 to understand the direction that they're trying to take this country, and get yourself educated on how to maintain power. A lot of it is through digital media and boycotting and peaceful protesting. So make sure you are planning to get out on the streets with your friends and your signs. Saturday, October 18th, No King's Day Protest 2.0. Make plans. Thank you for tuning in to, sorry to be so heavy, but it's horrible. Thank you for tuning in to Chris D. Redefined. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk more about my son and being an estranged parent next episode. I have heard from my son more, so I'd like to share that with you. Thanks so much, and hit the subscribe button.